This bonus episode is brought to you by Nurtec ODT Rimegepant, 75 milligrams, orally disintegrating tablets.
The Victoria's Secret VS Voices podcast is back with Season 3. Join me, Amanda de Cadenet, as I sit down with the wonderful talent surrounding the reimagined iconic fashion show, Victoria's Secret The Tour 23. My guests include Emily Ratajkowski, Bubu Ogisi, Supriya Lele, Jenny Fax, and many more. Listen to Season 3 of VS Voices on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen.
Hello. From Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month, we're talking about comediennes, women throughout history who've made us laugh. They transgressed societal norms through comedy and often spoke out against injustice using their sharp wit. I once wore a peekaboo blouse. People would peek, and then they'd boo. I took the light bulb out of my refrigerator. Leftovers look much better in the dark. When Fang and I got married, he said, "In a couple of years, we will hear the pitter-patter of little footsteps." So I set traps. Equal rights for the sexes will be reached only when totally unqualified women occupy high positions of power. These are some of today's Womanicans' one-liners. She delivered smart quips and wore ridiculous get-ups to embody an oddball housewife. She was one of America's funniest women. Please welcome Phyllis Diller. Eventually, Phyllis would make a living parading around stages in foot-tall wigs and enormous phosphorescent dresses. Half clown, half housewife. But the first 3 decades of her life were pretty plain. Phyllis was born on July 17, 1917, in Lima, Ohio. She was the daughter of an insurance executive. She played classical piano and thought of becoming a music teacher. In her senior year of college, she met Sherwood Anderson Diller, a sort of jack-of-all-trades. They were married in 1939. Both of the Dillers held odd jobs. Sherwood as an inspector at a Navy air station, Phyllis as a columnist and copywriter. The couple struggled financially, especially as a gaggle of kids entered the picture. But Phyllis had a knack for comedy. She loved making people laugh, and she was good at it too. It came naturally to her in her writing jobs. And when she was doing her washing at the laundromat, her funny stories made the neighborhood women smile. She was always the one giving presentations at parties and PTA meetings, making dull suburban life just a bit more fun. A few years shy of her 40th birthday, Phyllis doubled down on her hobby. Inspired by a self-help book she'd read, she started writing her own comedy routines, giving paid and at times unpaid performances around town. In 1955, she made her debut on stage at a San Francisco nightclub. The more she performed, the more she developed her onstage character, a parody of a housewife. Her own domestic life was a source of inspiration. Her children's whims at the dinner table, her husband's woes after a day of work. She'd take those jokes and then ramp them up a bit. Soon, Phyllis the character had a husband named Fang, a mother-in-law she referred to as Moby Dick, a sister-in-law whom she titled Captain Bligh. The on-stage version of Phyllis fed her children garbage soup. She burned her ironing. She wore ridiculous dresses laden with sequins and furs and donned bejeweled heels. When Phyllis trotted on stage, she carried an iconic, bright yellow, glittering cigarette holder. At the end was a wooden cigarette. Phyllis didn't smoke. Everything Phyllis built up for her character was an act, and it was a damn funny one. Phyllis made her big TV debut on Jack Parr's Tonight Show in 1958. From then on, her stand-up was a staple of late-night TV. She made a name for herself through her unforgettable onstage persona and her quick one-liners. Phyllis wasn't the first female comic, but she was one of the first to pursue such an abrasive form of comedy. Her jokes were unforgiving and unflattering, especially to herself. She was aggressive and unconventional.
All I know is if I was put together by Mother Nature, God is a litter bug.
Much of Phyllis's routine came down to precision and timing. She had what she called a gag file, a 4-foot-tall metal cabinet stuffed with more than 50,000 index cards. Each one was a joke, and each drawer was carefully labeled, In semi-alphabetical order, they ranged in categories from shopping to men to food gripes, ecology, dieting, royal family, and, of course, my marriage to Fang. One of Phyllis's main comedy fonts was her own weight and looks, but in her personal life, she did care about her appearance. According to some stories, when she posed nude for Playboy, the magazine pulled her spread. She looked too attractive to play it for laughs. Phyllis was one of the first celebrities to publicize the fact that she got plastic surgery done. She made that a joke, too, toting around a plastic surgery resume for anyone who asked about her looks. Phyllis never made it big on TV or in movies. Her sitcom was short-lived, and she had some recurring roles doing voiceover for cartoons.
They come, they eat, they leave. That's our lot in life. It's not a lot, but it's our life.
But she did have a successful stand-up and theater career. She also put her classical piano skills to work in the 1970s, when she appeared as a piano soloist with orchestras around the country. Her piano performances had some laughs here and there, but by and large, she took the opportunity to show off her impressive musical chops. Phyllis also wrote books. A handful of comedy how-to guides like Phyllis Diller's Housekeeping Hints and Phyllis Diller's Marriage Manual, and an autobiography titled Like a Lampshade in a Whorehouse. Phyllis continued performing for most of her life. In a 2002 show in Las Vegas, she announced it would be her final stand-up performance. She was true to her word. Phyllis Diller died on August 20th, 2012, at her home in Los Angeles. She was 95 years old. All month, we're talking about Comediennes. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Talk to you tomorrow.
If you're prescribed Nurtec ODT, Rimegepant 75 milligrams for migraine attacks, does the fear of running out of medication stop you from treating every migraine attack? If so, ask about 2 8-packs per month. That's 16 tablets, and most insurance plans cover it.
Nurtec ODT is approved for the acute treatment of migraine attacks and preventive treatment of episodic migraine in adults. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT or any of its ingredients. Allergic reactions can occur even days after using and include trouble breathing, rash, and swelling of the face, mouth, tongue, or throat. Most common side effects were nausea and indigestion stomach pain. A maximum dose of 75 milligrams can be taken daily to treat migraine attacks or every other day to prevent them. The safety of using more than 18 doses of Nurtec ODT in a 30-day period has not been established. For full prescribing information, call 1-833-4-NURTEC or visit Nurtec.com.
Double the packs to treat more migraine attacks. Ask your doctor if 2 8-packs of Nurtec ODT is right for you.
Chances are you aren't sharing an epic dinner with your friends right now, but you could be. Just book a seat at a private dining event with your Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Then get to it. A multi-course menu, insane flavors, a wine pairing. Ooh, is that crispy duck? Experience more unforgettable dinners with private dining events from Sapphire Reserve. Chase, make more of what's yours. Learn more at chase.com/Sapphire Reserve.
Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
At Ford, we pride ourselves on building strong, capable vehicles. But we're only as strong as the people who drive them. People like you, who don't just see an F-150, but see what they can build with it. Because built Ford proud, it's a pact between us, our drivers, and what we can do together. Built Ford proud.
Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.